Oh, it's already set.
Welcome to day 3 of our Bounce Beyond Limits series. Today is a very special day, and we have a very unique title and a unique guest. So, the title for the series of today is Beyond the Battlefield Building Wealth with Digital and Trading Skills. Today is extra special, not just because we are talking about our anniversary, but we are going beyond just talking about possibilities, and we are showing you proof that real transformation is possible when you lean into high income skills. So I am beyond excited to welcome somebody who truly embodies the Squeeze Bounce mission and the Bounce Beyond Limits mission. So this is a man who went from military service to market mastery and from IT expertise to entrepreneurial success. He is a military veteran, an IT expert, a professional trader, and a serial entrepreneur who used digital and trading skills to rewrite his financial story. And he started right here in the Squeeze Bounce community. Family, help me show some love as we welcome the one and only Emmanuel Doh to the stage. If you can, please drop some fire emojis in the chat because you are about to be inspired, empowered, and equipped. So welcome, Emmanuel.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Funky, for the kind introduction. I'm Emmanuel Doh, as Funky already said, and I'm excited to be here. Happy anniversary to Squeeze Bounce and all Squeeze Bouncers out there. I am truly excited and to be able to impart and see what I've gone through for the past almost 5 years. And let's get it started.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I'm really happy, really excited to have you on the call. I just have a few questions for you, and I wanted you to be able to share your experience with our audience. So I think I'm just going to start by, trying to know more about the backstory. And so I think my first question would be for you to take us back to where you were before you joined Squeeze Bounce. What were you doing? Because I know that you are a military veteran, and I wanted to just get to know what inspired your move from the military service into IT, trading, and into entrepreneurship. Over to you.
I will start by saying I love traveling. So it goes without saying, I traveled from Africa to the United States back before the 2000s. And if you guys know, just before 2000, right? No, not 2000, 1998, 99, there was all the whole Y2K bug where the world was going to end in 2000. So I traveled in 99, and while in the US, I'm sitting there like, okay, they say the world is going to end, so what's going to happen? And then just towards the mid of 1999, it was a computer bug, it was fakes, the world was saved. So I was like, okay, exciting. I want to do IT.
Awesome.
So I was in Boston. I went down to Cambridge and went to Cambridge University, MIT, and Boston College to get prospectus. And when I received the prospectus, it wasn't cheap. Okay. So I had to get a tuition. And to do that, I needed a co-signer. There was no one to co-sign me. So short story, I didn't have the money to start school.
Wow.
And a few days down the road, I bumped into this military recruiter who sold me everything that I wanted to buy. Okay. He said he wanted me to join the military. I would have the opportunity to travel the world on the military, and they would pay for my tuition if I choose to go to school while in the military. If I don't, when I separate, I will have a GI Bill, which is money that you can use to go to school. And everything, like I said, that I was willing to buy. So I was like, sign me up. First, I said, well, I'm not sure you're telling the truth because it's government. And I'm coming from Africa. We don't believe government. right? So he said he would put it down in writing, and did a contract all 9 yards. So fast forward, joined the military, and before 2007, I had graduated while in the military with a computer engineering degree. So I told them, okay, I didn't want to sign up for another extension, and I wanted to quit. And because before graduation, couple of weeks before graduation, I already had offers from Verizon, CNN, and all. So I choose to go with CNN. Um, the simple reason for making that switch, the pay first of all was 2.5 times my military pay,
Oh,
which was unimaginable. And of course, the excitement of getting back into the civilian world and everything else. So I started out with CNN. I started working as an IT engineer and moved forward from there.
wow. That
Yeah.
is really amazing. I never even knew that you had that CNN experience. Well, this is really
Oh, yeah.
exciting. Oh
That
my
was fun.
goodness. Wow, wow, that is great. And so I think our first contact in Squeeze Bounce was in 2020. And I just wanted to know how you came across Squeeze Bounce in 2020 and what made you say yes to learning trading.
Yes. So moving forward, after of course, CNN, I did a couple of other jobs. I needed to be worth, but I also needed to the freedom, right, to travel. Like I mentioned before, I love to travel and do stuff. So while with CNN and other jobs that I were doing, I had to, pay to travel all over the world. And I was like, hey, you know what? If I could find a way to travel without having to, spend everything that I'm earning,
Mm-hmm.
then good. So the first thing was, of course, after talking to people, bright minds out there, was to be able to create multiple streams of income. So
Absolutely.
everyone I was talking to was talking about monetization. So basically, know what you are good at and then monetize it.
Okay.
So uh, with that, I was able to then start thinking, what is it that I want to do? Maybe do businesses here and there. I started few companies, startups, both in the U.S. and Africa.
Yeah.
Um, Started looking at stocks, looking at different things to basically how to have multiple streams of income. That's the only way I was going to be able to survive, living my dream and working at the same time. So that was part of it. Now, Squeeze Bounce came after another company called I Am Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Joined, yeah, I joined maybe 2 3 years before Squeeze Bounce, and of course, there was a monthly fee that I had to pay every month. But beyond that, they had all kinds of indicators, and to get every single indicator was extra money that you had to pay for the month. So it turns out it was just a multi-level marketing type of scheme, and it wasn't really what I want because I was spending more money than I was making, and that was not the plan. So then I got introduced to Squeeze Bounce by an auntie of mine, and when I listened to you know, the mentor, and the fact that I was going to have somebody to talk to, somebody to supervise me, somebody to help me through the process, it was actually a positive change. So no regrets there. Everything was positive. I got the indicator. I started making money, and here we are.
That is really awesome. You know, the very interesting part was when you came in as a student, I knew from the get go that you were going to do well. And I'll tell you why, because I saw the resilience. You had this willingness to learn. And beyond even what I was showing you, I noticed that you were going to do your own homework. You actually found you found out extra things that I could even see. And it is interesting to know that you went beyond just being a student to being a trading body. And then every time I was looking to improve on the system, I would say, hey, Emmanuel, can you come on Zoom? Let's look at this. I just saw something really exciting. And then Emmanuel would say, Funky, you are always finding out something. I'm like, it's called process improvements. We keep improving and all of that. So it's been a pleasure having you as a student. And I think I just wanted to ask some other questions, if that's okay by you.
Sure.
Um, yeah. So, what were your biggest fears or doubts at the beginning, and how did you overcome them? Because you know that trading is mostly psychological, right? So, yeah. What were your biggest fears?
Biggest fear, first it was something new. It was very easy to make money and it was easy to lose money.
Okay.
So and I did lose money sometimes,
Mhm.
and every time I have to sit back and look at it. Okay, what is it that I was doing wrong, and I have to correct it. I
Yes.
think everyone out there who has traded before has gone through that. So that was part of my fear, and the idea that okay, if I'm thinking of going trading full time, is it going to be one of those cycles where you make money, lose money, make money, lose money, and then at the end of the day, it defeats the purpose? That was my first fear. But the second thing was I realized that the process itself worked. So whatever the strategy was working. And if I wasn't making money, it was something else other than trading. And as I come to know today, trading is not just about knowing the technicals. It's not just about indicators. It's
Exactly.
also about the person doing the trading. So I
Mhm.
had to re-engineer myself to conform to that trading lifestyle.
Absolutely. That is really true because a lot of people think that once you have the strategy, you are good to go. But I think beyond the strategy, the psychology has to be right. Your mindset has to be right. Risk
Exactly.
management is what people miss out, right? They say, well, this was working for me, but if you are using the wrong lot size for the account balance that you have, there is a tendency for the market to go to temporarily go sideways before it goes your way. So I think that having the right lot size, having the right risk management strategy in place would go a long way to making anybody successful. So I was going to ask that what mindset shift did you get yourself involved with? That is, what mindset shifts happened before you had your breakthrough in trading? Because I would say that everybody always has their breakthrough moment when they know, yes, I already got this thing right. At the initial stage, you are trying out different things. You're trying to get familiar with the strategy. You're trying to, I would say, fine tune your skills and sharpen your trading tools. But at what point did that mindset shift? And when did you have your breakthrough?
I had to realize that the whenever I'm trading,
Yeah.
uh, when the trade is moving, if I didn't have the opportunity to get into that trade, it's not moving away from me forever.
Mhm,
So uh, the market is always going to be there. There's more than enough money in the market.
mhm.
Uh, and I think I read somewhere where it says trading is the market taking money from impatient traders and giving to patient traders.
Absolutely.
So with that, I had to kind of sit back and realize that what, I don't have to trade every day. I don't have to take every trade that I see, and
Mhm,
if I don't do that, I can still make money
mhm.
because tomorrow is another day.
Absolutely.
um and that was a very huge shift for me. That's the first one. The second thing was also my psychology, because especially me coming from a military background, everything we needed to do was right away, immediately. And I had to realize that it's always okay to take a step back. When you see candles moving up and down, you don't have to chase them. First
Mhm.
of all, you have to know, okay, is it going up to come down or is it coming down to go up? There's always that, right? So there's a lot of things that I had to work on for myself beyond trading and indicators.
That is really awesome. So I know that you have the ability to trade forex and volatility indices. So I was going to ask you, what is your experience like? Trading both of those, those kinds of pairs, and just give us like an idea of how it has been trading forex and volatility indices.
Yeah, so those are it's the same system, the same setups, but they are inherently different because forex is, of course, the global market, and it's real money, it's real assets.
Mhm,
So it is affected by different things, whether it's fundamentals, market conditions. There are a lot of things that are affected, um, as opposed to volatility, which is synthetic, right? So volatility, you don't need to know that, okay, before I enter this trade, is there going to be news? Is there going to be some global event just happen that is going to, tank a stock or what have you? you don't have to worry about that with volatility.
Mhm.
So those are the two different things. So if I had my way, I would trade volatility every day. And of course, you can also trade it on weekends. So there is no start and stop time, right? Like Forex, you can trade weekends,
Mhm.
except it's Bitcoin, you can't trade after hours. There are stop times and start times. So those are some of the key differences. And of course, it depends on your style. It
Mhm.
depends on in trading, there is more than 1,000 different instruments.
Absolutely.
What you have to do is, whether it's within volatility or forex, you pick, or even options, right? You can pick one thing and say, this is what I want to zoom in on. For instance, the whole of this year I've been trading just gold. uh, so at least 80 to 85% has been on
Cool.
gold,
Yeah.
of course, for what gold has been doing too. So
Yeah, I think gold is actually giving a lot of people, some good cash. The past few weeks has been really good with gold. And then when it comes to volatility indices, I know you have a specific pair that makes you happy, and I think you made me look
step
into that pair. Step index, yes, step index has been your favorite in volatility indices, and that is really exciting. So when it comes to trading specific um, sessions, do you have a favorite session? Because is it the Asian, New
New York.
York? Oh, New York, yes. Yeah. So
New
tell me
York
more about
provides
your New York.
volatility.
Like, so tell me more about it. What is really unique about trading this New York session?
uh, Volatility, right? Whether it's forex, or because the word volatility means, fast market movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Asian session, they tend to lag, they tend to consolidate, and they move slow. Whereas you have the London session that sometimes can move fast, but not as fast as New York. New York is the biggest market, is the biggest market cap. So obviously, once they come in, they tend to move the market.
Yeah.
And if I do my setups correctly and I know where I want to enter and where I want to get out, I can just, chill out the rest of the morning until New York session and then just get in and get out. Sometimes within 30 minutes, I'm out of the market. So that's
Absolutely.
it.
That is awesome. I like the fact that you can actually be done trading within 15 to even 30 minutes max,
Yes.
just with the New York session. And that has to do with the volume that we experienced during that time, the volatility. You seem to have lots of pairs moving in the direction that, very clear direction. And you don't have to, you're not in a consolidation mode at that point. There's a lot of, good pairs that would give you the kind of money you want.
And
So,
of course, it depends with our trader too, because it moves fast. Some people get too nervous, right? Because it can go hundreds of pips within minutes, and if you don't do the right uh, analysis, or if you don't put your stop loss,
mhm.
you may be in for a cry. So
Maybe info, yes. So you know me with my style of trading. I'm a scalper, and I'm very happy to say that. I want to get my money now and not after a day. So what kind of trader are you? Are you a swing trader? Are you a scalper? What exactly?
so I do scalp.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say intraday trading, right?
Yeah, into the
Um,
trade.
yeah, intraday trading. So it's not just quick scalps in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I can move the market from, one level to the next level based on my analysis. I do swing trade some pairs depending on what I see. Like pairs that I see are already at the end of their journey and they're about to reverse. I can go into swing. The only key difference is I do very small lot sizes for my swing trades, and I put, my normal lot size during intraday trading.
That is really awesome. That is great. Well, this has been really exciting. And I know that you are a job quitter. You don't work for anybody anymore. And I think this is one of the most exciting, things to hear from somebody who decided to take trading as a full-time career. So what has life been since quitting your 9 to 5? Any regrets at all?
No, and no, because like I said, my journey in trading started back 2017,
Okay.
and I just quit my job last year.
Okay.
So no regrets, because it's been preparation. It's been, asking myself the question if this is really what I want to do. And now that I've been out of it for almost a year, in a couple of months, I think I made the right decision, and no regrets at all.
That is really exciting. And This is for people who are listening to us, people wondering if it's possible to take trading as a full-time career. Well, you have somebody who is giving you his transformation story. I think that it is possible to be anything you want to be if you put your mind to it, because it's not a fly-by-night process. Emmanuel just talked about starting his journey in 2017, and then he quit his job in 2024, 7 years later. So for those that are looking for the get rich quick scheme, this is not for you, because you're going to get burnt. Because if you come with the mindset of, I want to quit my job in 6 months or 1 year trading, it doesn't happen like that. It takes a while to build the right psychology to be consistently profitable online. And I think this is important for most people to know. And I was also going to ask you some other questions. So how has your identity evolved now that you're not just earning money, but you're creating wealth? So how do you see yourself? Like, do you think there's a change in your identity? How have you evolved, between last year and now?
My identity. I no longer get too euphoric when I win trades.
Okay.
Um, yes, I when I create a strategy, as a matter of fact, I go into the market with the idea of how much do I want to lose today. Okay, yeah, because it's very important, psychology and risk management when you're doing trading. My mindset is always focused around how much do I want to lose, and if I am okay with how much I want to lose, everything else is a win. Because even if I lose what I wanted to lose, it's a win for me. That's what had to change for me, because the human brain is trained, like they say, for risk aversion. So
Mhm.
when you're losing, you stay in a losing trade because you are hoping and praying for some god to bring the trade back to you. But what you need to know is, you cut your losses short and you let your profits run. But most people, when starting in trading, they do the opposite. They,
Mhm.
they, they take the small money once they see a green, but then when they are losing, they allow the trade to run.
That is
I
it.
did.
I think everybody did that at the beginning. We did that at the beginning, I guess. Oh, wow. So this is exciting. So another question is, besides trading, I know that you are into entrepreneurship and you are also diversifying into different income streams. So how is that going? I know that trading, of course, gives you a huge, monthly return, but how is it with diversification? So what are you diversifying in?
It's going well. It's going well because, and also provides me the change of environment, change of mindset, and being able to manage whatever I'm doing. For me, it's kind of like hobbies. Even
Mm-hmm.
though even though some of them now are good income streams, as I told you, some of them I'm into agriculture. I'm into in agriculture. I do both livestock and farming.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually going very well. Um, I do. I still do some online consultancy.
Okay.
Yeah, I do online consultancy. From time to time, I would have people that say, "Oh, I want to start up a company, and we would need an end-to-end solution in IT." I
Okay.
still make up time to go and provide that solution, as long as it doesn't take too much of my time. Because today there are ways to coordinate and
Yeah.
have people actually do it right. Um, Besides that, yeah, I do those, and also in trading. I've looked at maybe monetizing my knowledge in trading, but I don't want to because of maybe I don't have your kind of patience.
Oh my God. You keep saying you don't have my kind of patience, but the good thing is that you're really good at what you do. But I know that sometimes it is possible to have knowledge, but it is sometimes challenging to transmit or like share that knowledge with people in a way that they can understand. So I know I've been trying to tell you, Mano, you need to help me. You need to help me mentor people. You're like, oh, Funky, I don't have that patience, to say the same thing. But this is really good to know. And because we are talking a lot about what you've done beyond the battlefield. You mentioned the fact that you're a military veteran, and the title of this series is Beyond the Battlefield, Building Wealth with Digital and Trading Skills. I wanted to ask some questions about, why do you believe trading and digital skills are key to building sustainable wealth today? Why do you believe in these two skills?
you know, First of all, these are skills that allows you to decide how much you want to earn.
Mm-hmm.
right? Your income potential is up to you. That's number one. Number two is that the world is going digital. So, like it or not, it's going to happen one day. As a matter of fact, at one point I was doing 6 months. I worked 6 months on my job. I would do just contracts and then go do something else for 6 months. And each
Okay.
time I come back for the 6 months, there was so much has changed in the technology field. And this is something that I wasn't new to, but it still takes time to get back to in tune with what have changed. So I say that to say it's inevitable that technology is the way of the future,
Mm-hmm.
and learning it now is the best thing that can happen to you. And of course, when you go to trading, it's the same thing, right? You need to do, if you're not trading volatility, if you're trading, if you want to do the normal market, and who knows how long volatility is going to stay, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to get into trading normal in market instruments, whether it's
Right.
options, whether it's,
Yeah.
you still need the digital skill to be able to uh, cut down the time you spend on researching, right?
Absolutely.
What you're doing is very important because with digital skills today, you can write short scripts, for ChatGPT to do things that it would take engineers a year to do. You can
Yeah.
do that in under a month. So yeah, I don't need to say more, right?
Yeah. That's really, and I think you're absolutely right, because if people can actually learn high income digital skills, the pressure to do multiple jobs would reduce, because a lot of people still believe that if they don't work two, three jobs at the same time, they can't actually meet, their financial goals. But I think it's time for people to start looking, beyond the career, because a job is a job. There is no security anywhere when it comes to having a job, because there are companies that people never thought would fold up that are folded up in the past few months and even the past few years, and that has left a lot of people, in a very dicey position. So, what advice are you going to give somebody who is watching us right now and who is stuck in a paycheck to paycheck cycle? What advice would you give them?
Advice. So what I would say is look at what you can do to be job independent.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I heard there was this comedian, Jim Rohn, who said job is an acronym for just over broke.
Absolutely.
You And so you don't need to quit your job now by all means, but
Mhm.
you need to learn the skills and be able to monetize those skills. And then try it for some time before you turn in your resignation. Because once you turn it in, it may be harder to get the job back based on the type of skills you have already.
Exactly.
But by all means, you don't lose anything, right? Even if you learn the skill and you don't use it in future, you still have it. But what if you need it in the future? What if it could be
Yeah.
the change that you've been looking for, right? So with everything happening, you talk about what I'm doing to for multiple streams of income. I've even taken out, portions of my 401k
Mhm.
to diversify in other sectors, when it comes to digital growth and economy. It's the way we spend money today and the way money is losing value. It's obvious that uh, when if you stay working a job, very soon the paycheck is going to be too little to cover the month.
You're going to outgrow the paycheck.
Already happening, right? It's already happening. We are seeing situations where you're going from buying egg for $5 to $10. They jump, that's 100%, right? So and many other things. So I don't think as these things change rapidly, employers are going to be saying, "Oh, we are going to match it so that you don't feel the pain." They may give you $1,000 or 2,000 once in a while, but it doesn't cover the cost. But if you have the skills and you have, as a matter of fact, you should be able to learn the skill and sell it to your buddies, right, who are still working, and say, "Hey, I have a solution for you and everyone else," because it's inevitable. Like I said, my digital marketing skills, uh, the trading, of course, my IT skills come a long way to also help me in what I do. But all of those gave me the confidence to be able to go solo.
Absolutely. So one good thing to note is that you don't even have to have tech skills to be a good trader. I
Oh
think it's
no,
important
no.
to know that. So people can actually learn. We have secondary school students, college students that are learning the skills and are doing really good. So I think that the additional tool that you have that has allowed you to really diversify and kind of improve on, the fundamental skills that you have has also helped. So I think just to wrap things up, I wanted to just ask one question. I think I really like the way you tell me about your daily routine. So, what does your morning routine look like as a full-time entrepreneur?
My morning routine most of the time is going for sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up, I go for sports, I come back, do some reading
Yep.
because a lot is changing. So I'll read current trends within my field and what is happening in the market. I would read, I could do fictional books. I have a my to-do list for the year, even though I'm lagging behind. But yes, I take time to read. I take time to, quiet my mind and get ready for a trading session. Depending on what's happening on that day, I look at what Asia has done. Basically look at my trade setup and look at what the market is doing and know, okay, maybe today I'm not trading because of news, because of other things, or maybe because if I take the first trade, I lose it. I may just say, you know what, the market is slow today. I'll just walk away. So
Yeah, that makes sense. And so, what final words do you have for anybody thinking about starting their trading journey with us in Squeeze Bounce?
anybody's what are you waiting for? Right? Because if you already heard about it, it means they're curious about it. And I think that sometimes it takes too long. I know
Mhm.
for me it happens where it takes too long and you're thinking about doing it, you don't want to do it, you want to do it, you don't want to do it. And for me, it actually happened when I've lost a lot of money, right? Yeah, because I was like, hey, I can just watch some YouTube videos and there's a lot of stuff out there, I can do it. But it's very important when you're getting into any field. It's not just trading to have uh, that one system that you can go to, that you can look at, so that when you lose a trade, because what happens is when you don't have a standard system that you can look at, each time you lose a trade, you're looking for a new skill or a new tool or a new indicator to
Yeah.
add to your arsenal so that you will not lose trade tomorrow. But the losing of a trade has nothing to do with maybe the setup that you had. Yeah, it has something to do with consistency, has something to do with having a system. And when you talk about a system, it's about, how do you take a trade? How do you get into a trade? How do you get out of a trade? What are the conditions that you're looking for a trade to happen? And I think whether it's squeeze bounce or any other system that you're going to have out there, tells you that, okay, these are the conditions we have for you to take a trade.
Mhm.
And you would see for yourself that each time you lose a trade, it's not the system that failed you. It was either you rushed to get in because anticipated. It happened with me with squeeze bounce, where I would call you sometime like, Funky, I just lost some money and what happened? You're like, well, you remember this was supposed to happen first? I said, yeah, but I thought it was, you see, it got right here and turned back. So it you have to not just adopt the system, but follow the system.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is, I think it just makes sense to have a coach or mentor in a field that you are interested in. A lot of people say, well, I can just go check all these things on Udemy. I can go check on Google or YouTube, but there is a lot that a coach will help you achieve. For example, a coach will actually help you bypass years of trial and error. So instead of wasting time trying to piece things together, get random information online, you follow a proven system. And also, you get personalized guidance when you have a coach because a coach will actually give you tailored feedback based on your trading style, your mindset, and your goals. And you would actually be able to reduce the risk that you are, going to put out there. And I know that trading is at least 80% psychology. So a coach will help you stay disciplined and say, well, these are the rules that you should follow. And that coach will also help you overcome emotional, decisions and bounce back when you have losses. So I've had scenarios whereby you would say, well, Funky, I think I went with Step Index today, gave me this amount. And the following day, well, I didn't follow the rules. So you need somebody to put you right on track. So, well, Emmanuel, I want to thank you so much. It's been really great having you on the call. For the month of May, because we're having our Bounce Beyond Limits anniversary series, we're going to be having different people coming on board to talk about the experiences in the different fields of, services that we offer. But it's been exciting having you on the call. Thank you for the inspiration that you give to many of us. I'm inspired. I feel like I'm a proud coach. Having someone like you, not just doing well in trading, going full-time, you're a full-time trader, you trade for prop firms, making at least 5 figures every month, replacing your income multiple times. This is definitely worth celebrating. So I want to congratulate myself, first of all, for having somebody like you who is teachable, who is coachable. Life is easier when you have people that are willing to learn. So thank you so much, and I wish you the best in your trading journey. We're going to end this live now. If people have questions, I want to join our trading program, they can go on our website. Quizbounce.com is the website. We are actually running our anniversary discounts right now. So we are actually doing massive discounts up until the 31st of May. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and I'll be live again tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.